My name is Martha Jones, and actually my husband went to OBU several years ago. He had a secular job and decided that God had called him to the ministry. So we were trying to decide where to go, and we were actually lived in Stroud at the time, so OBU was pretty close, but OBU was expensive. So we were trying to decide how could we afford that, and so we started going through the process, and God just opened doors for him to be able to go, and he just said, I know that's where I'm supposed to be. Our second daughter wanted to come to OBU, but we didn't know if that would be a possibility because we actually lived in Missouri at the time, and she had enrolled in a very good Christian college, but she just really had a heart for OBU. We had come to Oklahoma to visit family, so we came to OBU, talked to Jonna Rainey. She was over the financial department, and she said, I think we can help you. And she asked me, did you fill out the FAFSA? And I said, yes, we filled out the FAFSA earlier on. She said, that's great, because that just kind of lays a base for us. And I know OBU has lots of endowed scholarships and grants that are just OBU in general. So I said, you know, what can you do? She said, I can get back with you in a couple of days. Let's check that out. I said, that would be wonderful. I know sometimes people think that they can't afford it. And even I've told, you know, many people in the ministry, we have an opportunity to talk to other senior, that are picking schools, and I would say, go to a Christian school. And they're always like, it's so expensive. And I said, I know, but God has a way of working things out. OBU has lots of scholarships. If you will fill out that FAFSA first, then if you don't qualify for that, even if you think, well, we're not financially needy in that area, it doesn't really matter, because that just gives them an area to say, okay, now we can open other doors to be able to financially help you and offset the cost. And I know many students, whenever my husband was the youth pastor, there were many students that God opened the door for them to be able to come to OBU because because they offset it. And looking down the road, it's important that they understand that a college education says a lot about who you are and where you're going in life. And I think that opens doors down the road. People look at OBU and they know it's an upstanding school, and they know they got a great education. So they're more inclined to maybe hire them because they have that Christian background, and they're looking for that. They're looking for integrity in the workforce. And so I'm like, even if you have to sacrifice some, that in the long run it'll be worth it. And we've always had that with our daughters. We've always said, it's not about the cost, it's about the education and how God is going to work all that out. And OBU is so good to say, let me see how I can help you. Let me see what we can do to be able to open that door for you to be here. So it's not really about what financial bracket you're in. It's more about whether or not you'll put your faith in God and work and walk in that direction. And OBU wants to make that available to you. And I think God's really good to use OBU in that.